What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chief in the streets, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, mate. Doing pretty good.
You're doing so well, aren't you?
So well. It's almost a day since the Battlefield 6 reveal. Had a day to process it.
Yep. Take it in.
Had a day to worry, a day to celebrate. I don't know, like I think, we sort of mentioned it in the Reacts last night, but if you charted that path forward from like a year ago and you were like, all right, how can EA get to the point? How can Battlefield Studios get to a point where they've got a good game on their hand? And you would have spelled out all these things they should do and design decisions and all these things, right? And it's like so far on that imaginary path that we would have charted, I feel like they haven't made too many mistakes yet. Like, there's been a couple around the weapons and classes, and it sounds like they're listening. Now, yet to be seen what the final game looks like. But they are making changes based on community feedback, and I don't think we've seen that in a while.
Yep.
Usually the beta is so far up launch's ass that it just, whatever feedback they get, even if they wanted to listen, even if they gave a fuck, can't do much about it.
Yeah, what's done is done.
Yeah, and when a game launches at a scoreboard, like, you don't need community feedback to understand that that should be fixed. You know what I mean? So I don't even include that. I'm not going to include that. So, I don't know, man. I'm feeling, as the title of your video said, cautiously optimistic. Which is way better than I've felt about Battlefield in a long time.
Yeah. The fact that optimism is a feeling is really nice. Like, to have that for Battlefield is really, really good.
Yeah, because me, and I'm sure a million other Battlefield players are coming in with that high level of skepticism that we would be sniffing out a lot of bullshit if there was bullshit to be sniffed out. Now, we all acknowledge there's a lot of in-engine footage. We're all understand there's probably a few scripted sequences in that trailer that are not going to be just happening in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
But if you couple the reveal with the leaks, which I think have been the healthiest thing for this game, like, I could just go on Reddit and watch some gameplay of this game. I think that is so healthy because it looks great. I don't know, man. It's there's not a ton of bullshit being smelled, and we may live to regret these words. I don't know, but until the multiplayer reveal next week, I'm just going to enjoy the week of feeling great about Battlefield again.
Yeah, fair call.
If I can, even if I get disappointed, I just want to enjoy the week because I haven't felt this good about Battlefield in 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. To be honest, I didn't love Battlefield 5. No, whatever the World War II one was.
5, yeah.
Yeah, I personally didn't love that. I know a lot of people did. That's cool. Wasn't for me. So, for me, it's been a long, long wait. And everyone is in agreement that this feels like Battlefield 3 and 4. Different elements from different games. And those games just made me the player I am today. So, I'm going to enjoy the week. If next week sucks after the multiplayer reveal, then I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm enjoying the week. You can't stop me.
You enjoy your week, mate. You enjoy your week.
Thank you, mate.
I'm glad it was a good reveal trailer.
How many times have you watched the trailer, mate?
I think like 6 at this point.
Yeah,
It's been that thing of like I watched it like 3 times last night, and then today I watched it once this morning, and then I watched it a couple of times after I got home from work. And I'll probably watch it again before I go to sleep. It's good. It's a good trailer, honestly. It's let's talk about the best part about the reveal, if I may. I appreciate that the premiere went live and we got that cool little press conference thing, which then just transitioned into the trailer, and we didn't get a stupid freaking... that generic 10-second countdown with the same freaking soundtrack and the same... Oh, I hate that thing so much. So it was nice they went above and beyond and made it a little bit, fancy. I like that. No, it was a good reveal. It was a really good reveal trailer. I liked the angle they're taking with this campaign. You know what I mean? It's not like they've just picked one country, like they're the bad guys. This looks like it's a worldwide sort of... It's like NATO versus Pax Armada. Is that what they're called? Pax Armada? Yeah, so it's like NATO versus Pax Armada, which is super cool. It looks like a globe-trotting adventure, like fighting in New York, fighting in Egypt, fighting in what looks a little bit like Afghanistan, and in the mountain ranges and all that sort of stuff. So that's really cool. It looks like we're going to get a variety of locations and just weather settings, which really bodes well for the multiplayer. It means we're going to get a pretty good variety of maps, I feel. Yeah, oh man, I don't even know. Like, I kind of, it's one of those things where I don't really have any notes. Like, it did what it needed to do. It came, it told me exactly what I needed to know about what they're setting up for this game. Showed me some really cool set pieces. Showed me some very Battlefield-esque moments. The helicopter through the middle of the street, the helicopter coming through the wall, just some great Battlefield-level destruction. Some great Battlefield sound. You know, like, if there's one thing you can say about Battlefield, it's sound design always next level. So, yeah, no notes. Came in with a mission accomplished. I'm ready for more. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to actually play the game for myself, which if all these leaks and rumors are true, won't be that long. Won't be that long before we can actually jump in and give it a go, hopefully. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing all that on Reddit and not being able to do it myself. It's really annoying.
I actually looked up a YouTube video of someone like diving into the trailer.
Yep.
I'm like, what did I miss? Like, I feel like I absorbed a good amount. I got the vibe. That's all I needed, you know. So I missed half the trailer. There's a lot in here, but this trailer is clearly like around the campaign. I think that's clear to any anyone with a brain that watched it. But from the leaks, we know it crosses over the multiplayer and all that sort of stuff. But what's really cool, there's a certain level of attention to detail here that I think's been missing from Battlefield for a long time, and some things in the trailer that were pointed out, like a big, like what they've sort of been saying, and I'll have to go find the exact YouTube video I watched because it was from someone I haven't come across before. Their name is Blackfire.
Yeah.
A 30-minute video up there, so it's pretty good detail. And they were sort of highlighting how the theme of the campaign seems to be that America was not ready for this attack. NATO was not. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that theme is present throughout the whole trailer, which I did not pick up on at all, right? So, for instance, that helicopter going through the street is a European helicopter.
Yeah, that's Pax Armada's helicopter, I'd assume.
Well, it's not clear, evidently, whether it's like the good guys or the bad guys, though. And I think he reckons the trailer deliberately removes flags off, like patches off some soldiers, so it's sort of like
I'd say so.
Instantly clear.
Yeah, I'd say.
But there's two American helicopters just before that. They run into each other. They're both American helicopters that collide. I missed that. I just assumed one was Pax and one was US. So I missed that. And one of the shots where there's a lot of like American soldiers is what I picked up on when I watched the trailer running towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Tons of them are police. So like that clearly shows another level of like unprepared, like all hands on deck. Like this isn't a line that's been breached or whatever. That's obvious to a certain degree, but the attention to detail is really cool in that sense.
I when watching it, I remember I think maybe, I don't know if we said it last night or not, but I'm getting the vibe that everything we've seen is like from the first hour of like the campaign. Like Pax is attacked, no one expected them to do this, and now like what happens next? Like what do they do next? Like it feels very much like a setup.
Yeah, I think all the American stuff is from the start of the game. I can see that being the case. I feel like then there's some level of retaliation that probably takes place when, because like in one of the shots we're just rolling tanks up to like the pyramids in Egypt. That's crazy. Also, there's a shot of a jet taking off from I think it's off an aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm.
But the jet's not carrying any missiles. How unprepared do you have to be launching jets without missiles, you know? So like, it's just some things in this trailer that don't feel accidental. Like they didn't just model an F-16 and forget to put the fucking missile on. You know what I mean? That's not how that works. So there's just certain things in the trailer. I think this campaign is going to be really, we talked about Homefront a lot lately and its campaign and the grittiness and all that. And I think it's going to be some similar shit in this, which is really cool. The amount of weapons in this trailer that they're shown, like this guy called out like 30 weapons or so, which is cool. A great variety. I'm just sort of rambling a little bit, I know, but I just, it's I think the variety of content here, it's even like the quad bikes that are in one shot. Like, that's like they're just there for a moment. But like quad bikes have been a huge part of Battlefield over the last 10 years. They call out that they would be great in like a battle royale, and I'm like, yeah, I think I can see a lot of these pieces sort of coming together in that sense, which is interesting. I think this game's just going to be very. The word I'm going to use is horizontal. I think, back to Modern Warfare 2019 when Warzone came out and there was like gunfight and there was ground war and there was all these pillars that made that game, like let alone the campaign and everything. I think that's what we've got on our hands here. Like, I think there's just going to be such a wide variety of content. Some of the Battlefield labs are like such small scale fights, which look great, but obviously we're all excited for the big warfare, which I think they've confirmed only 64 players this time, right? I don't think they're going 128, which is good. Could be wrong. Obviously, there's a lot of destruction in the trailer. A lot of set pieces, like the dam blowing up. Obviously, that's just not someone throwing a grenade at a building. That's very much scripted. But the building falling down, and we sort of called this out a little bit yesterday. The building that falls down towards the end that looks like a skeleton, like the building's still under construction or something.
Mm-hmm.
That building, I need to go and watch it, but apparently a DICE developer at GDC back in 2020 was demoing some new destruction tech, and the building looks exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
Like, they've been cooking some of this shit
for a while, yeah. Jesus.
Clearly didn't make 2042 in time. But yeah, I think some of the underlying technology here, I think we've probably underestimated how long this game's been in development for in that sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so it might be coming out right when it needs to.
Yeah, which is quite exciting. But yeah, I don't know. That was just some of the initial sort of thoughts I got from the trailer. Just like, the lack of preparedness of the US and stuff like that. I think that's going to be such an interesting way to create chaos in some of these set pieces. That I don't think we see that often enough in like American war movies, games, propaganda, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that's a in some ways a realistic sort of outcome. Like we see that in real life. So
I mean, let's be real. The game, like the war games where America isn't prepared, are always the ones that are really good, like Homefront and the original Modern Warfare 2. Like when they're not ready for an attack, it's when it hits home soil. That's when you get the really good games.
Obviously that's when it gets really gritty as well, which I love.
Gets real.
I just want to call out as well, I sort of feel like I'm jumping around a little bit, but there was a specific moment in the trailer where it went from, this is a great trailer for a great game, possibly, but there was a moment where it just like became Battlefield. And that's with the music, we've got the Masters of War track playing. It's all slow. It's all, feels like that classic war propaganda sort of trailer, And then the moment the missiles hit the dam and the dun 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 kicks in.
That's so good.
Fuck, man, it just felt like coming home.
Yeah, whenever that kicks in, it's pretty freaking badass. I do like when that happens. It really hammers home that, it's Battlefield. You know what I mean? When that happens, it's always good. Always good. Makes me happy. Warms me jellies, mate.
Like, it's so consistent. Like, relative to, like, many other competitors. I mean, Halo has a pretty consistent soundtrack. But it's so recognizable. I feel like COD's missing that, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a time when COD had like a recognizable.
Well, it's always licensed stuff for me. Like, was it Black Ops or Black Ops 2 where they had that Eminem and was it Pink and Eminem song? Like, don't back down, won't back down.
Oh yeah. I think that was. I feel like that was Black Ops 2 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. A while ago.
And then Eminem also did a song for like on Ghosts as well, like Call of Duty Ghosts. He was also like had a song there as well. So did Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
COD needs to get its music together. Jesus.
Another little detail that I sort of picked up on last night, but like it wasn't until this video called it out that I was like, oh shit, yeah. The bad guy, quote unquote bad guy, and the quote unquote good guy that we're likely to play as. Yeah, big quote unquotes on those. Who knows who's good and who's bad, honestly. But they have similar scars on their hands and face. It seems like they've been in a similar, not necessarily against each other, but they've been in a similar scenario. Like, as in possibly on the same team. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe they were making out when something exploded.
Maybe. But their scars are very similar in similar places. So it would seem like, when they're in a tank together or, whatever it is.
It's like looking in a mirror.
It's going to create a very yin and yang sort of story here. And it'd be interesting if, like, the same things happen to them, as in a mission goes south or whatever it is. And, it creates one person that hates.
Yeah.
Creates hate. And,
one person that
to Paximata. It's going to be very
hates flags, and another person that wants to burn them all down. Like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Wants to burn the flags, and one guy just wants to protect the flag. That's cool. That's very Battlefield. That feels super Battlefield. That feels super military. Feels very, very COD. I like it.
Yeah. The scale of this game, though, I think is just going to be crazy. There's some good shots of a lot of fire as well. So I hope we see fire be more of a thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then there's that shot towards the end with the sledgehammer. Apparently, in the leak somewhere or whatever, that's like some sort of utility for like doing destruct. Like you'd be able to tear through walls with the sledgehammer.
Oh, so you can like just like run around and be Sledge.
Seems that way.
Okay.
Myself, so I can't confirm that. But
See,
it seems like that's a usable thing.
That'd be sicker for like pushing a building and we know people are on the other side of a wall and you're just like, hey, I'll smack the wall in, and I smack a wall in and you guys like pepper freaking bullets through it. That'd be sick. Like that's just gonna add a new layer, I think, of like strategy when it comes to like Battlefields always have really good destruction, and like when you push an objective and stuff like that, destruction was always a big part of it. But I felt like it was like it could be very uncontrollable destruction. You know what I mean? Like
it was never formal.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like adding something like this sledgehammer could like turn it into like the destruction into just another ingredient in gameplay, as opposed to. Yeah, a strategic sort of advantage now instead of just man, I hope when I hit that wall it comes down. It's like, all right, I'm going to hit this, it's going to come down, and we can actually get them.
When you like put out some C4 to remove a wall, but you also accidentally take out the floor in the room.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But the gameplay seems a little bit slower in this Battlefield, which could lend itself to a bit more strategic play in that sense.
I'm glad it's a little bit slower, to be honest. Like it looks more manageable as opposed to like everything else, which feels very quick. It looks like they're like leaning way more towards Siege than they are any of the other first person shooters that are out there right now, which is a good thing. I think the more you can differentiate yourself at the moment from other shooters, the better off you're going to be, as opposed to, because I think one of the biggest killers these days in terms of like being a new FPS or an RTS or something like that is comparison. So if you can find something that's different enough, like Battlefield and COD have been compared so much for so long, when really if you break it down, like they are very different types of game. Like they are very, very different, like flavors of the same food, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like Battlefield is the beef Maggi 2-minute noodles, and Call of Duty's the chicken flavor. You like both, but sometimes you want beef over chicken.
I think that's well said, and I think the more that the games have actually pushed towards each other, the worse they've both become.
Mm-hmm.
Like the more Battlefield's tried to do Call of Duty things, the worse it is.
Yep.
And the more Call of Duty's done Battlefield things, to be fair, I think sometimes they've gotten it kind of right, but
yeah,
it's not Call of Duty though.
But yeah, that's the thing. I think the reason, like the times they've gotten it kind of right, I think it only felt kind of right because Battlefield's accidentally done something very wrong. Yeah, like it's.
If Battlefield 4 came out alongside Ground War and Call of Duty, we'd be laughing at Ground War.
Oh yeah, Ground War wouldn't have even tickled my pickle, mate. I wouldn't be touching it. Not when I've got a Battlefield out there I can play. They just got lucky.
Yeah. Totally. I think that's such a fair point. Something else interesting as well, like DICE as a studio. Now I know there's a lot of turnover. We can get into all that, but DICE and the other 3 Battlefield studios, I guess, they would have to feel the weight on their shoulders.
Oh yeah,
they
for
would
sure.
Have to they would have to appreciate that if they fuck this up, it's over. Whether EA let us make another one or not is irrelevant. Like, we're not coming back.
Mm.
But what I've seen on Twitter, I have seen like maybe a dozen. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but like maybe 8, 9, 10, something like that. Developers basically come out in the last 24 hours and be like, "I'm so excited to share that I'm working on Battlefield 6. Y'all ain't ready." And it's a level of confidence that I'm like, they just surely wouldn't be projecting if they didn't feel like this is gonna be that good. Like surely when Battlefield 2042 was like 3 months from launch, surely they were sitting there going, "Oh shit," like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when you're working on something and it's not going well, you know it's not going well.
Yeah.
Like it's not often you get caught out like that, you know. Especially on something that big. So the fact that so many devs are coming out and being like, you know, excited to share the news and hyping up next week, I'm like, okay, that's a level of confidence that, like, yeah,
it's good to
I
see.
don't know, like something to note. Yeah, they might be wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know.
You don't know. There could have been like a company memo being like, "No one's tweeting. Get out there, make people excited." I don't want to lie. You will lie. We pay you to lie. Get out there.
Look, that's the thing, right? Like someone put up on Reddit the Battlefield 6 trailer already has significantly more likes than the Black Ops 7 trailer, right? And significantly less views. So, you know, people are like, "Oh, you know, people are loving the trailer, rah, rah." You know, it is just a reveal trailer. Like the higher they go, the harder they fall, right? Like it's, you know, it feels a little bit surreal in that sense. And I don't think that's necessarily like the fairest of comparisons. I think, although I do think Call of Duty's reveal, like not letting people know it was a Call of Duty reveal, was the worst mistake they made.
That was the problem. People were getting hyped for what they thought was going to be a brand new sort of experience, and you know, then you see a famous actor and you're like, holy shit, like we're getting like this is like a AAA sci-fi game, and then Call of Duty comes up and you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what's going on? That's crazy. At least going into this, we knew it was Battlefield. We knew what we wanted to see, and they showed us what we wanted to see. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Like, Call of Duty was trying to do something different. Battlefield knows it needs to do the exact thing that it's told to do. Like, it's very, very different.
Yeah, well said.
Poor Black Ops. I'm sure Black Ops will look fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
People need to just calm down. Like, it's a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. They can't mess it up, could they? They just really just got to recycle everything from Black Ops 2 and it'll be fine.
Yeah. It's Call of Duty. Like
It'll do its thing.
The reveal is probably the most important thing about it.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing I saw on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of color theory has come along from user 3D Dungeon Master. They highlight that on the color wheel, Battlefield 2042's color is 150 degrees away from Battlefield 6, which is almost the opposite side of the circle. Now, they do highlight, this is their words, near complete opposites, as far as you could get without getting into magenta hues, which they probably didn't want to use for obvious reasons. Now, I'm not a graphic designer, I don't know what those obvious reasons are, but I'm guessing the color would become a very hot pink.
Hell yeah.
So I would be down for that personally, but red, fair enough, that's the color they're going for. Yeah, they didn't go like for a blue or something else that Battlefield is known for. They've just gone completely opposite end of Battlefield 2042, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah, that is
There's
funny.
Blue in this fucking like the marketing. Sorry, what to say.
Like I'll say this though, like I don't hate the aesthetics of 2042. Like I like the blue. Like I think aesthetically it's fine. Gameplay wise, it was a bit rough. Map wise, it was a bit rough. But no, they really have sort of. Yeah, I don't know. It's it's like they've tried to be as recognizable as possible in terms of like they've tried to make it look as much like Battlefield 3 and 4 as possible, but it definitely feels like color-wise very different. It feels brighter. It feels like more hopeful than any Battlefield sort of key art we've had before. You know what I mean? It feels like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It looks good. I like it. I like the color. I like how much brighter it is. I'm keen to see if that carries over into the multiplayer, or if we're gonna see a change.
I hope so. I mean, if the Battlefield Lab leaks or anything to go by, like, yeah, the maps are well lit, very bright. I mean, lots of shadows and stuff because of that very bright sun. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's feeling good. I'm optimistic. A little bit cautious. Don't get me wrong, but you know, the fact that the game, in not even in beta yet, already has a scoreboard. I mean, we're definitely. There's no way this is worse than 2042 in my mind. You know, the higher they hope, the harder they fall.
Yeah, I'm just saying we've only got like what, a week to wait for this multiplayer reveal. We'll get there.
Just chill out a little bit, yeah.
We'll
No, I'm enjoying the week, mate. The week.
Hey mate,
week.
enjoy the week.
Next week might be the worst.
Enjoy the, it won't be. It won't be. If here's the thing, even if it turns into a middle of the road sort of game, that's better than what Battlefield's had for the last few. You know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, totally. If it's just playable, it just has to be playable. I'll be a pretty happy chappy. Yeah, just work. You know, just fucking work. But no, I am, as I said in the video, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not rushing out to pre-order, but I am keen to see what they can do to make me. You know what I mean? I said that if I look at this game, if I play this beta, and it feels very much like, hey, this feels like it did when we played Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, like we put over 1,000 hours into that game, you know, then yeah, it'll probably get a pre-order out of me because I want to get in as soon as I can, you know, as soon as the game goes live. But yeah, until then, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm ready to see more, which is always a good thing, I think. I'm not completely like, this is going to be bad. I'm like, okay, there's a chance here. And I think that was something that if, you know, you had told me a week ago that Battlefield is having a trailer drop next week, I would probably be like, that's too soon. I don't know. I feel like they're rushing. But having seen the trailer and you know, taken it in and had, you know, 24 hours to really think about it, I'm like, you know, they might be ready. You know, we might be all right here. It might be all right. So fingers crossed.
Look, I hope they've picked a release date which is looking like October 10, by the way. I hope they've picked a release date that fits with their schedule. You know what I mean? Like, I hope, like, you know, they haven't announced it yet. They got time to say it's November. They got time to say it's March. You know, I hope the amount of time it's cooking for is appropriate. Because when 2042's release date was announced, we were all collectively like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they fuck this up, this is their fault. You know, like, they've had an opportunity here to go out and actually make a great game and pick a date that works for them and pick a time that works for them. So if they come out of the gate now and it's too early or something doesn't work or it's all busted, like, it's totally 100% on them and they can't blame anybody. They can't say, if only we had more time. It's like, you guys had all the time in the world. Legitimately all the time in the world. Like, say what you want, we gave them all the time in the world. So... don't bugger it up, guys. Don't bugger it up. Don't bugger it up. You guys can do this.
You know that part of the trailer where they're driving like through the metro, chasing the subway train or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Bit of speculation going around.
Yes.
That is a nod towards possibly a multiplayer remake of Operation Metro, but in New York.
That would be cool.
Mate, can't tell you how excited I would be to hear those words. Like, yeah, it wouldn't be the same. You know what I mean? It wouldn't feel the same without seeing the aftertown in the background or whatever. But hey, if they can make the map feel the same in New York, oh, that would be beautiful. Imagine
Well,
like seeing the Brooklyn Bridge in the background and shit. Like, oh,
before we end, let's have a little bit of speculation. Like, what do you expect us to see next week? Do you expect us to see the majority of maps? Do you think we're going to see a healthy mix of new maps and remake maps? Do you think this supposed battle royale is shown at all, or do you think they save that for later on? Do you think it launches day and date, or is it something we get a little bit later after the game comes out and actually works?
oh, that yeah. I I don't want them to chew off more than they can handle. You know what I mean? Like I would rather the battle royale come later. That way, if there are launch problems, that team can come in to help. They know the engine, they know the systems, they know the servers. Like I don't I don't want you launching the multiplayer alongside, let's say, your 200 player battle royale, and then the battle royale servers are fucked and bring the whole thing down. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would spread this shit out personally if that was me.
Yeah.
But they got to make a mistake at some point. This is all going too well, so maybe that's it. But as for some speculation, I mean, the multiplayer event, I think there'll be two elements to it. I think there'll be the official reveal, and then there'll be the hours and hours of Twitch streamers and
Yeah.
YouTube content that goes live that spills the beans on all sorts of fucking details. We'll have someone make a half an hour video on how to drag a body around. Like there'll be all sorts of things that come later on. But I think the official reveal, they've got to reveal something that hasn't leaked. You know what I mean? Like they've got to reveal a couple of maps that are like a bit more crazy. Like at the moment, like that we've seen some maps in the leaks that look great, but like an Operation Metro remake, like something like that to really get up a little bit of hype. I think that'd be cool. But what I would like personally is a bit of a breakdown. I really want to see. Like remember in Battlefield 3 how you would have a map. You remember that map? Was it Battlefield 4? Fuck, I don't know. You know that map though when you're playing Rush, how you would dive off that huge fucking mountain.
Yeah.
I would love to see them go, all right, the Gibraltar map. That has leaked a bit, I think, if I remember correctly. The Gibraltar map, if you play... Like, I would love them to actually break down in a Vidoc style where it's like, hey, when you play Conquest, this is the map. But when you play Rush, yeah, you start up on the mountain. I hope the maps are a bit like...
Right.
Like, in Battlefield 2042, it felt like, doesn't matter what mode you played, it was just the same shit. Like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like that inspired,
Yep.
Whereas I would love to be like, hey, this is how the maps transform based on the mode you're playing, and I would love them to break down the modes a bit more, because I don't know, just feel like I want that reassurance that like the attention to that level of detail is in there. But I don't know what the reveal is going to look like. Is it another 2-minute trailer? Is it a half an hour showcase? Like I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I don't think they've really, not that they've done a bad job of doing that. They just have done no job. Like.
I feel like we
Could
could.
be a 3-minute trailer and then off you go.
I think we'll probably see something akin to what Bungie did with Marathon and what they did with Destiny recently. I could see some of the more important people sitting around talking about what they've done, giving us a little bit of a talk about, you'll have one guy talking about the weapons, you'll have one guy talking about the maps, you'll have one guy talking about how did we incorporate story into multiplayer, you'll have one guy talking about taking Battlefield back, and then you'll have a host doing it all, and then at the end of that, let's say 45 to hour, it'll just then be a couple of days of influencers going wild on the game, playing it, talking about it, and all that sort of stuff, which I think is it's smart. Let the influencers do the job for you.
Agree that it's smart. And I want to dive into like those videos, Jack Frags and all those guys. Like I want to see the in-depth stuff, but I hope the initial reveal, like I want to know how the vehicles work. Like, are we spawning into vehicles like we have the last few Battlefields, or can I go over and walk over to the jet and get in and take off? Like in the reveal trailer, we do see jets taking off a runway. Like that is the thing we see in the background. Whether that's playable or not, I got no fucking idea. But like I want to get into the mechanics a bit of the multiplayer. Like I think that's some of the beats have missed over the last few years or last few Battlefields. So that's the sort of the nitty gritty I want to get into. But I don't know what to expect to the actual reveal. But yeah, sounds like we're after the same thing anyway. And yeah, some reveals, some maps. Like I think a remade map would just sort of cement. Like think about this. Like they did all the remake maps in 2042, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have still not played on most of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like couldn't give a fuck. I want a remade map in this to sort of prove that this game will feel like if it feels Battlefield 3 and 4 like it's meant to, put a Battlefield 3 map in here, and I'll go tell you if it feels like Battlefield 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Whereas like 2042, I can just look at it and I'm like, that's not going to work. That's going to feel like shit. So not actually. There was one map in particular in 2042, which was a remake. It's been in several Battlefields. It's can't remember what it's called, but it didn't feel so bad, to be honest. So take all this with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's what I need from the reveal next week. I need some confidence in the maps and the mechanics. That's really what I'm after. I'm sure the gunplay is fine. I'm sure there's a few things that they'll no doubt nail, but the destruction looks great. I'm not too worried about that. The mechanics of how a multiplayer match will work. That is specifically what I'm after. Who knows if I'll get it? But I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think in terms of content, what are you thinking? Like I'm sort of feeling like it's gonna be like your classic 10 maps. Your 10 missions in multiplayer, in campaign. I don't think this game's. I think it's gonna have a lot of pillars, but I don't think each pillar is gonna be like too big. But
Yeah.
I think there'll be a commitment to like a map every 3 months or something in the multiplayer.
Yeah. Look, I personally hope we get like a big campaign, because I feel like multiplayer shooters lately have just like really dropped the ball on campaign, But like Black Ops 6 did a really good job. They incorporated some like real interesting like new types of missions and stuff like that. So I hope Battlefield just sort of like brings it back to like a real sick soldiers story, and it's 10 hours long and big set pieces. It's just a decent good time. Multiplayer, I agree. I echo everything you said. I hope content is king. I hope they commit to dropping consistent and really quality content, quality maps.
I'm getting fucking sick of roadmaps and live service content roadmaps and all that sort of bullshit. But I think, the thing that made Battlefield 3 and 4 crazy was every few months they dropped 5 maps in a map pack.
Yeah.
Like that, the first year or two of those games with the Battlefield Premium path and shit, crazy. The live servers they were dropping back in 2011 and 13.
Yeah.
So I do think we do need a little commitment, or just a little like, hey, this is our plan. Seasons are going to be 3 months long. Every season we'll have a map. Several new weapons, vehicles, whatever.
Yeah.
I would love to just have like 2 minutes on that. Doesn't need to be big. Just a commitment that like there's a pipeline of content already being worked on. That would be cool to see.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm keen. We don't have to wait too long, which is good. A week, and we'll have even more to talk about, and I look forward to coming back and talking about it with you.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a Battlefield podcast for a while.
Yeah, at least the next few weeks. That's for damn sure. Well, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, mate. Like I said, we'll be back here to do it all again next week, talk more Battlefield. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed listening along and hearing our takes on the Battlefield reveal, well, that's right. We made a 40-minute podcast out of a 2.5-minute trailer. We're that good. Be sure to follow, subscribe, like, and all the fun stuff. Head over to oneupgames.com. It's where you find links to everything we're doing, the YouTube, the Twitch streams, the Instagrams, and all that fun stuff. And just read an article while you're there. We post every single day. Every single day there's something brand new for you to click on there and read and take in. So be sure to do that. But that is going to do it from us, guys. Thank you again. Until next time, may all of your games be good ones. And we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.